A Tyra social experiment is revealing how harshly people in our society label and define each other solely based on weight. We just saw who the members of our latest Ville Circus of Weight chose to run their community, but we're going to see now what was in store as they assign the rest of the jobs. Check them out.
So next up, we have Pooper Scooper. Yeah, do you think you'll be a good Pooper Scooper?
Yeah.
And why is that? You're still third from the bottom, so Pooper Scooper.
But it is pretty close to the top,
I think she'd be a great Pooper Scooper.
I want to be the Pooper Scooper. I'll scoop the poop. I just think I'll be faster at doing it, you know, because I'm athletic.
I don't see her as a Pooper Scooper because she should be...
Too cute. She's too cute.
Yeah, she's going to be in high heels and she's going to be prancing around. And so let's see, why don't you make your case for why you should be?
People don't want to look at a Pooper Scooper, really. People don't.
Yeah, you have been kind of hiding all day, haven't you?
Well, no, but people don't want to look at them, but people would want to look at me.
Some people would say that you look too skinny and you're gross, even if you're pooper scooping.
The group gave the job of Pooper Scooper to the very thin woman, Hillary. Only 2 jobs left.
Who's going to be a pickpocket and who's going to be an elephant?
But why are you looking at him when you say pickpocket? Why you look at me saying elephant? That means you're just trying to tell me that I'm some kind of animal.
Elephant is the last one on the list. You're like the dirt.
All I see animals do is eat, man. I just visually see that's 20,000 calories he puts. That's what an elephant puts in his body. He's not an elephant. He's not a man. That's why he's so big. I'm not talking about what drugs. Elephants don't take drugs. They eat. They eat. They eat. They eat. That's why they're so big.
The elephants at the zoo. Everyone likes to look at the elephants at the zoo, though. When I look at you, I see...
The job of pickpocket went to Javon. And the job of elephant went to AJ. A decision that did not sit well with Davi.
You people really suck. Each and every one of you who voted for that, you blow. This is a person. Don't you understand all the pain he might have been going through and you had to put this freaking ass facade, always meant just being a tough guy, and now you got to put him there, degrade him. You suck.
As the exercise drew to a close, it was clear that all was not well in Waiteville. First off, I just want to say I'm not really happy with the whole elephant thing. I got a note from my staff saying that they listed everything out, and I said, scratch that elephant thing, I don't like that. And they said Tyra was already shot. So I just want to let you know this. I find it awkward, actually. But Davi, you were very upset at AJ that he was at the bottom. Very upset that AJ was at the bottom.
Extremely upset that he wasn't even considered a person, that they didn't even respect him. I mean, they put him as an animal. This day and age, I would have thought, you know, we would be more enlightened. It's the 21st century. We're not back in the Stone Age. And he was treated harshly, and he was put at the bottom. And I've been there, especially being a fat woman, and I'm not saying full-figured, just a fat woman. We're even treated harsher because there's a stigma out in society. You have to be thin, you have to be in shape, you have to look a certain way. If you're fat, you're worth nothing, you're no good, you're absolutely worthless.
The interesting thing that him being called elephant to me it wasn't even elephant is big, and so they said elephant. To me, it was that it was an animal, and you know that animals can't necessarily understand what you're saying. The reason why I say that is because a lot of the times, and we've done shows on this, even this season on the Tyra show, where like a lot of times people will be really negative and say awful things to somebody that is very big, and as if they're not a human being, as if they can't hear it. You know, have you experienced that, Davi? Like people saying things as if you can't hear it. They're saying things to you, like right there, you know, and it's like it's like so insensitive. On a daily basis, I walk around. If I go to eat at a restaurant, people snicker if I decide to have a salad, and apparently it's not working. Yeah. And I'm like, hush your mouth. Yeah. I have to develop a stronger personality, and not a harsh one, but a stronger one. I'm extremely comfortable in the skin I am. I so rock it being fat. Yeah. You know? Yeah. You know, the interesting thing that when you say they snicker when you have a salad, that's what's the crazy thing. A person that is big, they eat a salad, they get laughed at. They eat enchiladas and beans and sour cream, they get laughed at. It's like the light meal you get laughed at and the heavier meal you get laughed at. It's like, what are they saying? Don't eat? I don't understand that. Liza, you were harsh about AJ's size.
Yeah, you know, I really think that people in society, including myself, believe that overweight people are careless and, you know, they don't care about themselves, they have a low self-worth. And I would say that from personal experience, I can relate to that. I had a friend in high school, even middle school, that was overweight. You know, I always tried to get her to include her in my physical activities, like, you know, going for a walk, eating healthy, or we would even try and cook our own food, you know, to make things more healthy and accessible for her. She would always turn it down. I mean, I can't say that she was ever excited to do the healthy, fun stuff that I did. So from what my personal experience is, I can say that overweight people get looked down upon in society.
I want to ask you, Jovan, about being labeled the pickpocket. How do you feel about that?
I wasn't too happy about that because it was second from the bottom. And I think I'm better than the obese woman, you know, as far as society is concerned. I thought that I should have been above her. And when I was put, no, I mean, it's just my opinion, you know. I mean, in general, that's how I feel, and I think that's how society thinks. You know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, but I know how people think. You know, we've all been out there, and that's how people think.
Now let's talk about India, because you're from India?
Yeah.
So
in different societies, it's a little different, because when my grandmother always thought I was really ugly, and not because of what I look like, but because my body type. She was like,
India.
Oh, you're
She's Indian?
Yes,
okay.
she's Indian.
And so she was, because in India...
She came from a certain village where the bigger you are, the better looking you are. So
and she was right. Thank you, Grandma.
Now, Hillary got pooper scooper. Quite interesting. How did you feel about that?
I was shocked. I mean, it's definitely lower on the total, on the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And I think I belong a little bit higher at least, because people do look at me when I walk in a room. People are attracted to me, and I think I was voted that low because people are usually jealous. I mean, they are.
Davi, tell me what a family member once told you about certain types of people's poop.
Well, just to elaborate a little bit, I was actually kind of happy that she got pooper scooper. It's about time that the skinny girl feels how it is from a fat person's perspective to be at the bottom of the list and be ignored, be invisible, and be considered crap. And to answer your question, I remember they just stopped, looked at me again with the stank look.
Family member.
Family member, blood, baby, blood. And you know they hurt you.
Yes.
It cuts, man. It cuts deep. And they looked at me up and down and said, you know, pretty people poop look better than you. Oh. Hello? All I could do was go, why? And I said, you're just a hater, and haters make me famous. Goodbye.
We'll be right back. Up next, the conflict continues to escalate.
You guys voted me second.
I didn't vote for you. I did not vote for you. You didn't get my vote. I voted for me to be second.
Still to come, who do you think will be kicked out of the circus?
You must decide who doesn't belong in Waiteville and banish them to the freak show.